All right, everybody, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed "Summertime" by Will Smith. That was great. Personal favorite of mine. Either way, we're going to be going to the viewer questions now. We have quite a few from the actual tournament itself, but obviously these have been pretty much answered already. A lot of will we be streaming and whatnot, and actually we did. So that was great. So let's start off with Rishwin Singh, I believe. He asked, will we be able to see the finals again on YouTube's on Top Cut's YouTube channel? So does anybody actually want to answer that?
We were told that we will get the video for it. In talks with some people from TBCI, so if we get it, we have commentary done already, and yeah, it'll go online.
Good. So it's just a waiting game, right? We just have to get the video from them?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
Good. Hopefully that happens pretty soon. Simon Brundage actually said, I'd just like to comment that the top two games we think David and Yamato were some of the best games I've ever seen, with the exception of Game 2. Spoiler. Great showing.
You don't have to say spoiler.
No.
You posted an article that has the results of the tournament.
And you spoiled as well. Congratulations. You forgot to say spoiler, by the way, on your actual
tournament
show.
happened.
Yes, and you spoiled it. So either way, Colin Coyle Brinkmeyer says, was any guy on stream for the good guy Cohen meme? Awesome streaming, guys. So just more congratulations for everybody. There's actually some pretty cool memes and stuff. Just a lot of questions are regarding the Invitational and stuff. Just to let you guys know, I'm not going to be asking these on camera or anything, but everything's going to be going up. It's just a matter of actually getting them uploaded. That part is actually kind of time-consuming, apparently. Okay, here we go. Guy Bennett. He says, I hope you can address this question. During a game, how do you discern between good information concerning how a matchup plays out that you've heard from friends or on websites and your own strategical in-game thought process? A lot of times I'll see people say, oh, don't do that, that's the play, to someone during a match, or she should have done this instead during a different tournament match, but the player chooses to go in another direction. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So how do you discern? What do you trust? Do you trust your own play testing and strategy, or when you hear people say something that should be done in a certain situation? Thank you, and I hope this question isn't too confusing. So was the question too confusing for you guys?
I think I understand what he's trying to ask.
Okay.
Basically, I just form my own opinions on the game, and on a game that's happening, and if it doesn't align with if a play happens and it doesn't align with my train of thought, I'll try to figure out why it doesn't and determine whether that was good or bad. Because sometimes I'm wrong, you know. That happens for everyone, you know. You're not always right 100%, and if they're doing something that you don't agree with, you just have to ask yourself, why are they doing this? Was it worth it? Was it better than what you originally thought up? And yeah, so I think I think you should just get it from yourself and maybe your playtesting group or people you trust to know the game as well or better than you do. Okay. And ask for if their line of thinking was the same as yours, because generally if like multiple people come to an agreement that X play was the best option, it generally is.
If someone suggests another play to you or tells you you did that wrong, just ask them to explain why, and if it makes sense to you, then maybe just take it into consideration. If they're just saying it because it's just what you should do, then that doesn't help you very much. So always, when people try to criticize your play, ask them why and make sure it makes sense before you think that you did something wrong.
Okay. Potter or Drew?
I think there are definite right plays for a lot of situations. You know, just like if you play a switch and there's this guy arrow out and you're just gonna attack, maybe you want to send up the Smurgle first and portrait, stuff like that. Like I think I made comments on that a few times during matches. The player didn't do that. But just strategy-wise, it's really how you play tested out the matchups yourself a lot of the times, what you've seen happen, and just that's the benefit of playing with people like Kyle, and there was Jason and Sammy at the beach house. You just see a lot of good strategical sound play, and you can form opinions based on that.
Okay. Potter?
My brain is like a supercomputer, and when I see an incorrect play, my brain just says computer error, abort, and that's how I know. What?
That's before your time. Sorry.
And that's how I know that something's incorrect.
All right, cool. That's fine. Michael Martindale asks, from this last weekend at Worlds, what was the most awkward introduction you received? For example, a fan coming up to you, meeting you, waiting for your signature, wanting your signature, etc. So, most awkward introduction.
Like the standard one is what he described in that question, where they like walk up to all of us at once and say stuff, and there's like an awkward silence. But I don't know of a really bad one at Worlds, but at Fall Regionals with Kyle, there was a really bad one at the hotel. Do you remember that, Kyle, with the girl?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, continue. Tell it.
I don't even want to describe it in case they're like watching or something, but that was the worst.
Yeah, I don't want to go into it because I like feel bad, but basically she was a fan of my stream. Said she watched a lot, but we were checking into a hotel for regionals, and she just kind of walked up to me and stood there. And then when I turned around, she just kind of walked away. And then, I mean, it was kind of weird at the time. But the next day she came up and she just apologized and said, "Sorry, I'm just a big fan. I didn't know what to say. I just want to say I love your show." But at the time, it was pretty awkward just having someone stand right next to you and then just kind of look, and then they just kind of walk away. But I did appreciate someone actually recognizing me and coming up and saying hi.
Yeah, that's not awkward at all. No, I guess what I was trying to say was, it's not bad. Like, awkward, yes, but, I don't think it's so bad. I don't think it's embarrassing anyways. Any other awkward moments any of you guys had?
I don't know if anyone was, like, awkward to the point where I would remember it distinctively, but there was a couple times when we were doing the Top Cut Invitational, and people would just come up to, when we were talking on stream, it's kind of like, we're a little busy right now. So that's the only one I can remember distinctively.
Okay.
Just a heads up, if you see someone with headphones on and talking into a microphone, it's usually a good cue not to approach them and ask them questions. I mean, I don't mind talking to people, but clearly we're doing something, so it would be nice if we could actually continue what we're doing and not have to worry about distractions.
Okay. I do agree with that, obviously, and it's hard to disagree. I don't know. It's happened 2 years in a row now, apparently, so maybe it's not as obvious as I thought it was. Either way, Matt Sauerbrey asked, will Landers be competitive for the 2012-2013 season? And he actually posted a picture of a Canadian flag with a Landers in the middle. It's really funny. So do you guys think it's going to be competitive?
Could be. Just want to give a shout out to Matt Sauerbrey. He almost grinded in with Landers, made it to the last round of the grinder, and had a heartbreaking defeat. But I was rooting for him.
It's a tough loss. Tough loss.
You might have been the only one rooting for him.
Woo.
Well, he came up to me and said he wanted to rub it in Drew's face because Drew said Landers sucked.
Yes, he did. He did do that. He let me know he was close to grinding in too every round.
I think it could be good. As its fighting type kind of does what tracking does, but a little worse. But it has an acceleration like built into it. So if you're looking for a fast fighting deck, which could be pretty good against some sort of dark rive area, which probably is very popular, Landy could be good.
Michael Martindale actually, under his own question, actually posted a little anecdote about how he had an awkward introduction with you guys. I thought it was actually kind of funny to read. And there's actually props there for Potter for being a humble man and standing up and greeting him. So that was pretty cool.
Woo! I have another one actually. This guy was walking around with like he had pictures of all the top 40 people, and he was having everyone sign it. It wasn't really awkward. It was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
He walked up to me and he said, "I know you don't have an invite." And he flips his book all the way to the last page, past all the invite people. It's like, you can sign it anyways.
I was about to say, he like looks at you and he's like, "Who are you?" He just
Yeah. Flips past everyone else.
I remember
I
that.
just
That
wanna
was
say-
really cool. Yeah.
Michael Martindale, I did recognize you, so hi. I knew who you were.
Yeah, he actually mentioned that. Actually, said
Yeah.
that you recognized him, smiled and waved, and
I felt bad that neither of the other guys here knew who he was.
Okay, cool. James Proctor asks, if you guys think Stage 2s are coming back, what are the top 4 Stage 2s? And why do you think they're better now than that the game has slowed back down? Well, by the way, the game slowed down because inherently games does slow down when sets are reduced, at least at the beginning, until people figure it out. So that's why the sets slow down, or the game slowed down, and we'll find out exactly how slow it is after more and more testing's done and after Battle Roads, I'm sure. But do you guys feel like there's actually some competitive Stage 2s right now?
Yeah.
Obviously, the first one that comes to mind is the one that Yuta grinded in with, or not grinded in, but won his tournament with back home in Japan.
Garchomp.
Why can't? Yeah, there we go, Garchomp. But for some reason, I couldn't come up with the name. What other Pokemon are obviously just as strong?
Hydreigon, the new one.
Cling clang.
Sure, Kling Klang.
Cling Clang. All right.
And let's round it out with Empoleon.
Yeah, Empoleon's actually solid. It's a solid body. Now it's just a matter of actually making a good deck out of them.
And I think
Electros.
yeah.
Cuckoo. Crocodile.
Crocodile?
Yeah, that one.
I think the game slow. I'll go on to the why I think the game slowed down too. I think the game slowed down is because you're not getting captured 8 times a game. Lack of junk arm greatly improves the format. So games will be much more. Hopefully will be much more skill based rather than, hey, let's just catch your 8 guys, go Mewtwo. Hey, let's catch your 8 guys, go Darkrai. So.
And there's no Professor Oak's new theory. That's kind of a good supporter.
Yeah, absolutely. Losing not only that supporter, but like we mentioned, the other trainers is just, it's going to make any deck slow down. You're losing all these cards, like I said. Rotation happens, you get a smaller card pool, you have less options to work with. That's kind of what happens. It's just inherent. So with that said, is there any other Stage 2 that you guys might want to mention as like maybe honorable mentions?
Maybe Emboar.
Okay. Okay.
Gothitelle maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like Chandelure and stuff like that. All these Stage 2s that have been strong in the past might actually be resurrected now that obviously the sets get smaller. But now it's just a matter of dealing with the EXs. If a Pokemon can deal with the EXs relatively well, then it's probably going to be considered. Because, again, the format slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Schoenberg actually asked a question that kind of fits in with this. He said, what do you think of Mewtwo Darkrai and Black White On? And Fluffy Chomp and, I don't know about the rest. And Potter for 5th member. So, what do you guys think about Mewtwo Darkrai and Black White On and Fluffy Chomp? And Potter, apparently.
Well, the reason why Mewtwo Darkrai was so good was actually just because of Shaman. The whole thing of the deck was just, you would lead off with Darkrai, and not much would knock it out in one hit. I mean, you'd have Terrakion that could knock it out in one hit, but if they didn't play that, it was going to survive pretty much every time. And then eventually you would just build enough energy in play with Dark Patches, manual attachments, blah, 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 that you would just Shaman Celebration wind all your energy to a Mewtwo and sweep from there. But now you don't have the Shaman part, so the Mewtwo aspect of the deck is a lot weaker. You don't have anything to just go, alright, all my energy on Mewtwo, let's X-Ball for like 200 this turn. Now there's no real point to running Mewtwo because you can't charge him up in one turn. So I don't think that's going to be the way to go. That's why people are using Darkrai, High Dragon as well. Or
Use like
instead.
4 energy switches, right? Like just energy switch, energy switch, energy switch. There we go.
Yeah, good luck.
But yeah, absolutely. The fact that there's no easy way to get a lot of energy onto Mewtwo makes Mewtwo a little bit less powerful in that deck, at least. Yeah. Anybody else want have anything to add on? Maybe about Fluffy Chomp, whatever that is. I'm gonna assume that's Altaria Garchomp.
Altaria Garchomp is it's not bad. It's kind of like I'm gonna go in really hard, really fast, and if I hope I don't discard my catchers along the way, because if I do, I may be in trouble. But other than that, I think it's good.
Okay. Not much to say about that. Again, the format is kind of new. I personally have not actually had a chance to play test any bit of the new format. I'm waiting until PTCGO comes back. But the format is new, and I'm sure that all of us have been focusing more on the old format than the newer one. So we'll definitely gather some opinions in the coming weeks.
I had a lot of time in the airport.
Yeah. In the meantime, we'll learn the game with you guys. We'll learn the new format with you. Okay,
That's part of the question, dude.
What?
Ben Potter. He's my intern. When he starts getting my coffee order right, he can become a full-fledged member. Until then, though.
He's shaking his head, but in reality, he's probably typing, "Do you want your coffee black?" or just kidding. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Next question. All right, that's a good question. Dax Edmiston asks, "Who's everybody's favorite YouTuber or PokeTuber? And what about everybody's opinion on Rayquaza EX Eel? Because I've been testing it for a while, and it seems like a really good deck." So the person who, in my opinion, has been the most influential YouTuber or PokeTuber is, I think it's hard to argue this, but it's been Jaywitz. He's the one that turned everybody onto the idea, and at least for my personal opinion, he's my favorite one. And I do hope to see him making some videos again soon, because it's been a while, buddy.
Yeah, Jaywitz by far. He was the founder of Pokemon on YouTube, pretty much. And, you know, he took this season off for the most part, but he said he's going to come back next season, I think. He is great for the game, and I'd love to see him come back. Other than that, there have been some other people that have been doing well on YouTube. There's been, like, Pokemon Dan, I think he's one of them. TCG Zapdos. Both those guys put out some pretty consistent content, so those guys are doing some good stuff for the game too.
All right. Pram, Potter.
Well, my PokeTuber's same as you guys, Jaywitz, but YouTuber, been really into Epic Mealtime. That's been fun. I like Day 9 TV.
You know, for as much as I watch StarCraft, I actually don't follow any StarCraft people on YouTube.
It's just fun to pick up their VODs.
You don't follow H to the Husky?
Nope.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
I do not follow H to the Husky here.
He's the one who started it all, man.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I do think Husky definitely got me into StarCraft, but you know what? I don't know. I don't feel excited to like watch these guys' videos. I don't go like, oh man, this guy got a video. I definitely have to watch it. So I
do agree that streams are much more exciting than YouTube videos, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the fact that you're watching it live.
That's what I'm getting. Like, for the most part, when it comes to these types of people, I decide to watch them live, and I decide to watch the streams more than the YouTubes. I don't subscribe to StarCraft players. What about you, Potter or Holden? Do you guys have any ideas? Or
I don't really watch YouTube that much, but I guess my favorite's got to still be Jaywitz, along with everybody else. Yeah, he started it. I haven't actually seen most of the videos from the other people who do it. I know, I guess Fried Chicken and Rice makes some videos, but I always like to watch the ones where they open packs. Those are fun.
We have one of those videos coming out soon.
Oh yeah,
you do?
Oh yeah.
We have an extra.
Yeah,
the 2012 the Pack Battle World Championships between Michael Pram and Ben Potter.
What?
Commentated by myself and Drew Holden. As we try to figure out what's going on.
You guys had too much fun, or too much time on your hands. That's what it was.
Well, we had
No, they just wanted to open a box on camera in front of us.
we
so.
had a box of Dragon Exalted, so I was just like, 18, let's see who had the better packs.
Alright,
This
cool.
system
So
makes
apparently
no
we're doing
sense.
pack opening vids now.
He cheated, so.
And apparently we'll commentate on anything. So that's pretty cool. And spoiler alert, Potter, come on now.
He said he cheated. I didn't say he won.
Yeah. Colt, do you have any people that you want to mention?
Jay Woods is probably the man. Everyone else is
Probably.
following in his footsteps.
Probably the man.
I don't know, man.
Get it right, buddy.
What has he done for me lately? You know? But no, I love Jay Woods. He's my top dog, and then everyone else is just following the leader. Woo!
Alright. No other YouTubers that aren't Pokemon players?
I do not watch YouTube at all, man.
Alright. I usually don't either, but like these last couple of days I have been. Oh man, actually on my Twitter, hint hint, wink wink, at Crims23, I actually just posted a video of like Dave Chappelle's comedy thing. It's for mature audiences, obviously. But I posted this video. Man, I could not stop cracking up today. The entire morning I was just like watching it on and off. Every time I turned it on, like for those 10 minutes or whatever that I got to see it, I was just rolling. The dude's hilarious, and it's like old. And I've probably seen it multiple times in my life, but it doesn't stop getting funny. I don't know. I love YouTube every once in a while. All right. Next question's from Bodie Cutler. 2 questions. First, do we feel that Mewtwo's dominance will continue into the Black-White-On format, and if so, why? And finally, do we like the style of gameplay that Stage 2 decks bring, and are we excited to see them rise in popularity again? It was kind of weird not seeing Rare Candy be in the finals of a World Championships for once. That was awkward. Like, I am used to seeing these big Stage 2 decks try to set up and everything like that. I didn't like it. I want to see Stage 2s come back.
Rare Candy was in the finals of every single Masters World Championship finals until now.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was weird not seeing him there. Like, it was weird not seeing decks set up. And as cool as state or basic Pokemon decks are, they're not as exciting to watch and to commentate, obviously, as Stage 2 decks are, in my opinion. I think that those decks just add a little bit more depth to the game. And yeah, I'm excited to see them back. Hopefully they do come back. What about Mewtwo's dominance, guys?
I don't think Mewtwo will be as dominant. Shaman was a big part of Mewtwo's success. And also, yeah, I'm excited to see Stage 2's back.
You know, I've said Mewtwo wasn't going to be as dominant when Darkrai came out. I was proven sorely wrong. And I'm just going to stick on the train where Mewtwo just destroys this format. He's just going to come in, X-ball some guys, and then leave with trophies. So,
do you feel like people are going to need to solve that problem with
there is no solution. There's no solution to X-ball.
No. What I'm saying is, like, there's definitely a problem for Mewtwo when it doesn't have access to Shaman. Not having access to Shaman is absolutely bad for Mewtwo. Do you think that people are going to find a way around that, or do you think people are just going to say, oh, forget it, X-ball is just good on its own, I don't actually care about putting extra energy on my Pokemon?
I'm sure people will do both.
Okay.
I think it'll continue to be good in like a energy ramp deck like Eels, but I think the real popular decks are going to be Stage 1 decks. Those are going to be top dogs this year.
Okay. That's actually a pretty bold statement. Why do you think that?
I made a pretty good deck. It's a secret. It's a Stage 1 deck.
That's
really good.
That explains everything.
You've been hanging out with Pram too much. Every time you make a new deck, I broke the format.
You know, I think it's rubbing off on me. It's like the week before Worlds, I just made up these 2 decks, and both times I was like, I broke the format, guys.
And you play test it, and yeah.
It kind of works, but it doesn't really break anything.
I can't remember when this was, but I was in California. It was either during the city marathon in California or California States. It was around that time, and I was sleeping in Chad Harris's home, and I wake up to a couple of texts from Pram just going like, "Oh man, I broke the format. oh man, this, that, and this. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it must be a pretty good deck. He's like tripping out about it, and I'm like barely waking up. And I get downstairs, and I'm like, all right, well, and I try to inform the other guys, and Truck and Chad are both already there, and both of them are already like sleeving up the deck list for it. They're already calling jealous. Pram thinks he broke the again. And then the very next day, I kid you not, the very next day they're like, well, I think Potter broke the format actually, and then they started talking about a completely different deck. It was Zekrom. It was Zekrom with Pachirisu. Like it was, they brought it back. They're like, oh man, it hasn't lost yet. And at that point, like we all looked at each other, we're like, no, we're not falling for this one again. These guys, all they do is like they just go nuts over a deck and they claim it breaks the format every morning apparently.
Hey man, we're hype
every
machines.
24 hours they break the format.
We are
I broke
hype.
the format today, and I just got back from Worlds.
We are hype machines.
You guys get crazy excited about these things. It's awesome.
Whenever you tell me something breaks the format, I know not to test it at all.
Hey man, that turn was pretty good.
You know, it's kind of like you saying good luck to everyone. If I say it for everything I do, eventually I'll be right.
No. You didn't say it for Darkrai and Mewtwo Terrakion.
It's because I didn't build it.
A deck the format.
Yeah, they only get excited about decks they build. Remember that. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm telling you guys, that was a crazy sight. Like just rolling out of bed, like reading all these texts and going, all right, I mean, it must be good. You guys are obviously testing it, and I'm just reading the text as like, I'm walking downstairs. I'm like reading the text as I'm walking downstairs, and I'm already seeing these guys sleeve up the deck list. Oh man,
Fun fact.
that was something.
Fun fact. We claim things that break the format without testing a single game. We're just like, oh, this seems so good.
Hype machines, man. That's all you guys are. And are any of you guys excited about as excited about stage 2s as I am, or am I kind of alone at this?
I'm pretty excited for them. I'm ready to start playing stage 2s again.
Good, because they're a lot funner to play, man.
If it's actually stage 2s, I'm excited, but if it's just like I'm actually just playing all basics and then Hydreigon with it, I'm not as excited about that. 'Cause I mean that's just another basic deck with now you can just move your energy around.
Yeah,
I don't like that as well.
Less consistent basic deck. That's basically what it is.
Side man. Woo! We just had like a full format, or at least half of it after Mewtwo came out, where like Eels and Vileplume were the only two playable evolutions. All these other evolutions were just like unplayable. So even my Tech Energy mover dude, I'm excited for him, man. Can't wait to pop him into the deck.
Alright. Matt Shank asks, Garbodor, is he the new Vileplume?
No. He's the new Muck. Quite
All right.
literally. Quite literally.
It reminds me. It reminds me a lot of Cessation Crystal. I didn't play in that format, but I played it in like the world. I played against it in the Worlds decks this year at Worlds, like other people had them, and it kind of does like the same exact thing. And you kind of counter it the same way because Tool Scrapper is kind of like Windstorm.
Yeah. Real quick, actually. I'm reading the chat, and Kyle's trying to rat me out. He's, somebody said, you know when Crim says he broke the format, he means it, and Kyle has to chime in and say that whenever I say I broke the format, it's horrible. Wailord Electrode Prime with Energy Link was my project. Hey, I'm going to defend myself here, alright? First of all, the deck retired undefeated.
Go ahead and try.
The deck retired undefeated.
I don't know.
Played the deck and retired undefeated as well.
Also, don't know.
And let me tell you, man, the deck was actually good. Alright, it wasn't good, but the idea behind it was good. It was synergistic, and I hadn't played it in a long time, alright? This was me slowly, getting myself back into the rhythm of things. You're allowed to have a miss here and there. For the most part, I have a pretty good record. I actually won you your national championships, Kyle. I won you your national championships. Don't you ever forget that.
Yeah.
No, you can disagree with me all you want, but we all know I won in 40. So you shut it, all right, and stop talking bad about my Wailord.
I just want to go through your thought process with the Wailord Electrode deck. Alright, so, first thought process, Wailord has 180 hit points, nothing knocks it out.
Yes.
Right?
That was
the energy link.
for one.
Yeah, this is a line of thinking. Nothing knocks down one hit. So I just had energy links on the two Wailords.
Yep.
And what is it, like warp energy? And then you secret up the damaged one after you move all the energy to the new one.
Yeah, and see, and the warp energy stays on the damaged one.
Yeah,
So,
they pick it up.
Combo!
Alright, and then my retort is Luxray with an expert belt knocks you out in one hit. What's your counter to that? And you say, oh, I just put expert belt on my Wailord.
Yeah?
And then I'm like, well, how do you propose you attach energy link and expert belt at the same time? And you're like, oh, guess I didn't think that one through. And that is where the deck ended.
Defender still wasn't around in the format, right?
It might have just come out.
I don't think so, because if it was, I would have been like, Defender! So I don't think it was. But, with that said, the idea was there. The idea was there, and all it was like one step away from being a format-breaking deck.
Yeah, if Luxray didn't exist, it would have been great.
Yeah, exactly.
The most popular card into the format.
Now we agree with each other. If Luxray did not exist, I would have broken the format. There we go. But yeah, I guess that is what my line of thinking was. All right. Next question is from Mark Lutz. Actually asked.
Hey, hold on. You didn't ask the first part of that question.
Yeah. All right, go for it. Kyle, explain why Lugia EX will or won't be the best card in the format, and then give us a quick rundown of all the major decks it will appear in. Go for it.
I don't know if you've seen this Lugia EX, but basically if you knock something out, you take 2 prizes with it, no matter what it is. You take an additional prize, and it's a Plasma Pokemon. And there's a new trainer that just says, search your deck for a Plasma Energy and attach it to a Plasma Pokemon. Alright, I don't know who makes these cards, but give me a break. I thought Dark Patch was good. You just get to search your deck for the energy now and attach it to your Pokemon.
Guys, I think I broke the format.
So, basically with this Lugia, you can just catch her something weak, and you take 2 prizes every time. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be used in everything.
So what you're telling me is Plasma's the best deck when it comes out.
Yes.
And you
Seems
agree.
like it.
How many energy does it cost?
I made it first. You don't get to claim this.
What? No, no. I claimed it was the best deck first.
See, Pram already broke the format in his mind.
I don't think it's good. I think it's bad.
Then we'll see.
I also saw that in the
Water kicks us in.
that there was a plasma ball. I don't know what this plasma ball
Some
does,
lightning.
but I'm sure it
It's
searches
just
for
an
some kind of
energy
plasma Pokemon in the text.
Just an energy card, not an energy game.
I have more cards in the plasma deck list than you do.
You can't search for
I made it.
Plasma Retriever.
I just want to take note of Drew Holton's face throughout this entire conversation. Alright? Guy seemed so uninterested in this entire conversation. He was just waiting for the cue for people to stop talking so he could just continue.
If you have plasma energy in your hand, you can't use it on that.
Until
Not
I,
even good.
Until I edit it back.
I'm
into
with
my
you, Drew.
deck.
Don't worry. All right, next question, please. Mark Letts asks, I heard there was some big issue in Pram's top 16 game. Could you maybe elaborate what was going on? Was there an actual issue? Like a judge issue?
Yeah.
Sorta, yeah. Let's see. I don't. Game.
That would happen if you don't remember.
No, I know what would happen. I'm just wondering. I mean, it's gonna be in the top 16 video we have, but I guess I'll give a small rundown now. Basically, what happened was we both had Smeargle active. It was on his turn. No Sky Arrow Bridge was in play, but he retreated and hurricaned and knocked out my Smeargle. And none of us realized that he couldn't legally do that, and he took a prize. And then it was I start my turn. I'm about to take my prize, and he goes, "Oh wait, I didn't play Sky Arrow right?" And
Okay.
then I'm just like, what? I was about to nail all your energies. And,
I'll allow it.
and then I'm like, we have to call a judge over. Eventually, it's decided that he gets to rewind his turn all the way to where he was before he attacked with Smeargle, and then he did the same thing, but I also got a prize for it, a prize penalty, so I got to draw a prize, and then he hurricaned, but did a hurricane on a different Pokemon. So he moved the energy to a different guy, and I was just like, oh, that's so not cool. Because I nailed like all his energy with that one hit. And I was about to do, and then now he got to keep the fighting energy on some guy.
So it was basically, was there any cue that like made him go like, oh man, I should have put the energy on something else, or did he just realize it on his own?
He realized it after I captured up the guy with energy on it.
Oh.
Or something along
Yeah. What happened was, Pram played his whole turn out. He captured out the Terrakion with 30 on it, plus power.
And then at that point...
And then the guy goes, oh wait, I didn't play my Sky Arrow. And I'm like, oh, well there's no way for us to prove you didn't get that off your prize, so we have to rewind everything. And then Pram got a prize penalty. They took a random card from his hand and put it in the prizes. And then the guy's like,
he could have gotten really unlucky and like got the Sky Arrow taken away.
Yeah, he did.
That's what happened.
Oh.
So he had to junk arm for switch and attack that way. But when he did it, he realized, oh, now I know Pram has catcher plus power to knock out my Terrakion. I'm just going to move my energy to a Smeargle instead so it stays on my board.
Wow. That's a weird situation. I don't know if I necessarily agree with the ruling, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that was a weird ruling because they rewound like 2 complete turns, which was crazy. That's like almost too far in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really hard to rewind there, but you know, it is World's Top 16. I'm sure that they try to make it as fair as possible.
I thought the biggest part was that they allowed him to change his move, and it was already revealed what Pram's next move was going to be, because he didn't know that Pram would have the catcher and the plus power, so he decided to take a risk, move the fighting with Hurricane to his Terrakion, and then once he gets the information, oh, that's getting knocked out, it completely changes the course of the game. So I felt like that was the biggest part of it, and I don't know if like prize penalty is enough to reverse that whole change in game state.
Well, in my opinion, it definitely isn't. But like I said, that's neither here nor there. The decision was made. But yeah, I mean, I guess if we're going to be looking at opinions, I think what should have been done is no reversal allowed. The attack becomes illegal, and prize penalty. That's, I mean, this is Worlds. It should be, you know, pretty much anything short of a game loss, because I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I don't know if it's a game loss, but at least make him do the exact same attack. Don't let him move the energy somewhere else. That's not fair.
But yeah, I actually wasn't aware of that situation. Pretty interesting. But either way, Pram ended up winning, so luckily that didn't change any problems. All right, let's see. Next question. All right, Andrew Freeman asks, what do we think is going to happen in the black and white meta? Do we think Darkrai is still going to be on top, or do we think that there's going to be a new deck that's going to be coming out on top, like maybe Team Plasma Lugia that's being hyped? I think it's going to take a little bit for them to actually convince me that Darkrai isn't going to be the top deck. It's proven itself so far. I need to see results before I change my mind.
Go Team Plasma, best deck ever. You heard it here first.
All right. Anybody else other than silence?
I don't play it at all.
I don't think it'll be the same type of Darkrai deck. Like, you know, speed getting him out and attacking. I've seen it in the Hydreigon deck as a, you know, that's a good attacker there. They don't really die because of Max Potion. That's good stuff. I think it might be similar. it's still going to be used in decks where help things retreat. That's going to be a big part of Darkrai's usage.
I definitely agree. I think towards the end of the season, we started figuring that Darkrai had uses aside from actually being able to attack, and that its ability was actually overpowered as well as being an incredible body. So there's definitely that's why I'm saying that Darkrai is so good, and it's hard to argue with that fact. You have an amazing body that doesn't necessarily need to be an attacker, and obviously we saw signs of that towards the end of the season. And you actually have like an insane attacker as well. So it's too good of a card not to be a big part of the format. So we'll just have to
Sorry. I remember when Darkrai first came out, I called his ability broken to give stuff free retreat. And a bunch of people were like, what are you talking about? That's not broken at all. That's just an average ability. I was like, no, you're going to find out that that's pretty broken. And Darkrai was the cause for like so many decks that came out. Without it, you wouldn't have had the Excelgor deck. You wouldn't have had any of the Clang Clang, the Ganium decks, the Mismagius deck. I mean, those are all the same concept, but you wouldn't have had any of those. You wouldn't have had, I mean, they're just the speed Darkrai deck, obviously, but even just being able to attach to your active Smeargle retreat and then move the energy off later was so broken. I mean, I couldn't understand how people didn't see this until finally it caught on with all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned, the card is just an overpowered card, period. And I'd be surprised if it doesn't stay that way. For it to not stay overpowered, that means that these next sets have to be so insane. These next sets have to have like the most ridiculous Pokemon ever printed in order for this card to not be overpowered. So I guess here's to hoping that the card stays overpowered. As weird as that sounds.
My only thing that I don't like about what doesn't change in the Black-White-On metagame is going first is still overpowered, and there's no way to fix that until they change the rules.
Yeah, I mean, they can definitely print cards that make going second good. You know, cards.
Instead, they're printing cards that just let you go first.
Exactly. I was going to say, instead what they do is they just say, you know what, we'll just embrace the fact that going first is huge. And do you understand how, like, what their mindset has to be? They have to understand that going first is such a huge advantage that they have to print a card that actually like makes you go first. You know that there's something wrong there and that it needs to get fixed at that point. I think that should be their clue. But that's neither here nor there. All right, next question was from Jack McDonald, and he says, here's the question. Hopefully it won't be too stupid, but actually it's not. It's actually pretty good. Have we ever given thought to doing any seniors coverage? Should still focus on Masters mainly, but streaming and recording big seniors matches is a good way to help showcase some great players in an overlooked division. And you know what? It is absolutely true. I think that people in the seniors division get overlooked a lot. Even by us, and unfortunately, that just comes with the territory of still being young and still being underage more than anything. I think the fact that you guys aren't adults and that most of the Masters division is full of adults just makes it easier for us to be able to record these matches. Do you guys have any questions, or not questions, but do you guys have any comments as to, aside from the fact that these guys are much younger, as to why maybe we don't record seniors matches yet? And if we plan to do it in the future?
I think the main thing is lack of resources.
Yeah, we're also undermanned, stuff like that.
Yeah, lack of staff, lack of resources. It's too tough to even get enough people to do one recording or stream, let alone enough permission to do that sort of thing. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through just to be able to record a seniors or juniors match, just because of age limitations, stuff like that. So in the near future, probably not too likely that we're going to record the lower divisions. Maybe we can do more interviews, that kind of stuff, but I don't see us doing it anytime soon.
I'd like to say that I might not even want to see like seniors or juniors being taped, just because we might run into a bunch of issues. I don't know if you guys have heard about this kind of thing, but like more recently, I've heard of like junior divisions being more like a little league football game where the kids don't win, parents get like super angry, and like having us record those games or something like that, there could just be like a ton of backlash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. As silly as that might sound to some people, the truth is that that it's true. We do have to deal with different people at that point. We have to deal with a different crowd, and for the most part, like I said, like we've all said from the beginning, we're trying to deal with the competitive nature of Pokemon. We understand that there's many sides to the Pokemon TCG, and there's a collecting, casual, etc., etc., etc. But we're primarily focusing on the competitive side. We're focusing on easing players into competitive play. We're focusing on having competitive players become better, and we're focusing on everything that has to do with this game. Like Potter said, parents are competitive, but sometimes the kids aren't. And sometimes, the last thing we want to do is put anybody in harm's way. And we can control it a little bit easier when it comes to dealing with, older players and not necessarily so much with kids. With that said, I agree with you guys 100% that there are some great seniors that deserve recognition. And hopefully in the future we can find a way to work it in and to do it the right way. A great example, by the way, is Michael Diaz. That was insane and incredible what he actually ended up pulling off. And he went all the way from the LCQ all the way to the top 4, I believe, right?
Yep.
All right, yeah, 4. Michael Diaz is actually going to be in Vancouver next year, guaranteed. And that's incredible. The guy first year in Masters and pulling that off, like I'm sure he's an inspiration to all seniors everywhere, and he's all the proof that you guys need to be able to make your statement saying that that seniors are very good, and I don't doubt it. Now here's another question, actually from Andy Hahn, which is actually another really good one. What exactly are our thoughts on live streams and players being able to take the analysis criticism that comes with the territory? I don't mean to subtract from either player. They're both much better than I. But there are several mistakes or at least risky, questionable plays made in the finals. Many people on Twitter and Poke forums were quick to point them out. How do you think the player base will react to the new level of analysis that will inevitably lead to criticism? I have quite a bit to say about this personally. I do think that live streams are 100% good for the game. I do think that the moment that you decide, I mean, personally, like, and this is not talking about tournament matches where you actually don't have a choice here, but the moment that you decide to stream live play, period, like for example, like we at the Top Cut do, you're absolutely putting yourself in harm's way, and you're absolutely saying, you know what, I'm open to criticism here, and it's going to happen. These things happen. Somebody as good as Kyle, who undoubtedly is one of the greats, to play the game, has made unbelievable misplays on his stream. And these things come with the territory. Nobody's perfect, and nobody expects us to be perfect. Well, but people expect us to be perfect, I guess I should say. And you just have to have a really hard skin when it comes to that. And to anybody that was in a tournament match and happened to get recorded, and people see the misplays, you know what? All I can honestly offer to you is just take it in stride, understand that you made a mistake, and learn from that mistake, move on, play better, and don't let whatever anybody tells you change your opinion of yourself. Every one of those guys that decides to speak on the forums or on chat and say, oh, this guy's terrible or whatever, could have just as easily been in your shoes and made the same mistake. So that's that. And that's just something that I do feel strongly about because I'm going to be streaming soon, and I'm sure I'm going to be in a lot of controversial positions, but that's just that. Anybody else got anybody to say about this?
Yeah, I think it's okay to criticize somebody and point out their mistakes. That's fine, but the person who's being filmed has to realize that when they're being recorded, and like in the finals of Worlds or something, you're in the finals of Worlds. That means you're probably a good player, and you've probably done really well to get there. So even though you've made mistakes, anybody who's going to criticize you or call you bad or anything, I can't call anybody bad who was in Worlds because I didn't even make Worlds. I wasn't even that close. I'm not even that great of a player. So I might point out a mistake or something here or there, but that's certainly not a knock on the player. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that. A lot of people don't take into consideration that there's a lot of pressure playing in a finals specifically, and or even just playing on camera. There's an added layer of things you worry about. So take it in stride. If people are gonna critique plays, and that's just the way the internet is. You can't really stop it, but I will ask that if you're going to critique someone's play, at least be polite about it. You know, don't be like, oh, you're the worst, right? Why would you ever do that? You know, kind of like go, okay, I think you did this wrong. Here's why. And keep it at that. So, you know, hopefully our community can be a lot more polite about it, is what I would hope for. So.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
To play off what Pram's saying, it's perfectly fine to say, oh, I think that guy screwed up, but don't. The worst thing you can say is like, that guy's a noob. How did he get to the finals? He obviously made a dumb mistake. Like that, you don't need to say that kind of stuff. That doesn't help anybody. That makes our community actually look bad. And also, you have to realize these guys are under a ton of pressure. He's in the finals of the World Championship, $10,000 on the line, that kind of stuff. And it's the first time the thing's being streamed. There are like 4,000 people watching him, too. So if they make any sort of mistake, that's understandable. They've been playing the whole weekend. They got to be tired. And, I mean, I'm sure they didn't play perfectly, but give them some credit. They got to the finals, and just try to be positive. They're obviously great players.
Agreed. Drew, anything to say?
Yeah, I think when we get the videos up, you'll see how good Harrison was in his matches leading up today. He played extremely well, like, all tournament. And like everyone else is pointing on, they're pretty run down by the time the finals rolls around. Plus, they have to play the first ever commentated game that's streaming live. A ton of pressure. It was a questionable call, but I don't think anyone else could say they would have made a different call in that situation. Maybe they would have, maybe they not. But you don't know what the end result would have been if he had played it differently, so you can't really speculate on that.
Okay, agreed. And this is a really important subject, and like you guys said, I do hope that the community understands that it's not easy. It really isn't. Like Pram said, it's so much harder when you have that extra layer of like, oh man, the whole world's gonna see me screw up, and it's gonna be on the internet, you know, for anybody to be able to watch whenever they want. It's tough, guaranteed. Let's see here. We're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. We're just gonna ask a couple more questions. Josh Robert Wittenkeller, Jaywitz asks, is there a chance to have more than one top cut stream tournament per year? To have more than one top cut stream tournament? Yeah. All right, let me try that again. Is there a chance to have more than one top cut stream tournament per year? There we go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It depends on Pokemon TCG Online, honestly. That would be where our other stream tournament would come from, probably. If we can actually get a legitimate tournament system going through that, then yeah, we'll have more tournaments than just the Invitational.
Yeah, basically what costs it. Like, Pokemon TCG Online is really good for, like, that kind of thing. Especially, like, once we can, like, maybe work out a system and maybe even feed that into the Invitational itself. Who knows? But we'll see as the program gets further developed.
Okay. And here's actually the last question, but it's not much of a question, it's more of a comment. Anthony Casmanello mentioned that it's going to be the very first time that the Worlds is not going to be held in a hotel, but it's actually going to be held in a convention center. It's going to be held in the, doesn't actually mention, but it's going to be held in the Vancouver Convention Center. That's something interesting. I didn't actually know that. I didn't know that Worlds was held in a hotel every year.
2002 Convention Center.
Held every year.
2002 Convention Center.
Well, I guess that's a non-Nintendo one, though, right? That one was from still. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a nice change of pace, and I wonder what kind of hotel they're gonna get for the Vancouver one. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, I think we're gonna be good to go, right, guys? This is a pretty long show. As pretty much always. Sorry about the beginning. Obviously, we had some issues with it. It all got fixed up. This was not our season finale. We talked to Igor Costa. He unfortunately couldn't make it here tonight because it's 3 a.m. his time when the show starts. But we are going to definitely try to get a hold of him in the near future, and we'll have like a special edition of the Top Cut. So with that said, thanks a lot for watching, guys. As my goodbye, I want to say follow at Crim23 on Twitter. Follow the rest of us as well. Great season. The Worlds was great. Top Gun Invitational was amazing. Can't wait to do it all over again next year, and it should be fun.
All right.
Anybody else?
Go.
Ben.
What?
Shoutouts?
Wrapping it up.
Oh, it was like a lag, so I didn't hear the end of what Pram was saying. But yeah, thanks for having me on the show again. Follow me at XGWH. Maybe I'll think of something sooner that's more easily to remember as far as my Twitter name goes. But yeah, that's it.
Drew?
Follow me at Twitter also. Thanks for watching, everybody. I think the new PT CGO comes out on Monday, so hopefully I'll see you guys there, play some games with some people. Or maybe it's Tuesday, actually, but that's coming out soon. I look forward to getting on that. And hopefully I play some of you on that. Woo!
Nice. Oh, yeah, we forgot to mention CGO. Pram, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, all the people who saw me at Worlds, nice meeting and saying hello to you guys again. Follow me on Twitter at Michael Permwad. Let's see. I'll just do this way out of order. Had a good time doing the Top Cut Invitational. That was fun. And so watch out for those videos when they come up. And yeah, I also will be trying to stream some more when PTCGO comes back up. I saw a look at the beta for the multiplayer, and it looked pretty good. And so when they finally pushed out the multiplayer beta, hopefully that'll be equally as good. And yeah.
Yeah, we didn't actually mention this, but it does come out Tuesday. At least supposedly, it's not guaranteed. But all excited for it. We've all been talking about wanting to stream for it, and should be fun. Kyle, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, first of all, thank you to everybody who came and said hi to me at Worlds. It was one of the best weekends of my life. I really appreciate all the support everyone's given us in person, online, just by watching stuff. We appreciate every single one of you. And we're doing this for you guys. We just want to see the game get bigger, grow. And I really think this year's Worlds was a testament to that. I don't think a year ago anybody would have expected us to have a live stream of the World Championship Finals just based on what Pokemon had done in the past. I really think what we've done is have pushed them in the right direction, and hopefully things get better from there. Hopefully we can do better with the Top Gun Invitational, better commentary, better all that stuff. And I'm really looking forward to the future. Nationals was a disappointment. Worlds, it was a great hope for us in the future. So just want to thank everybody again. Thanks for watching the show. Follow us on Twitter at Top Cut Pokemon. We're near 1,000 followers, which is a cool milestone for us. And like us on Facebook, Top Cut Pokemon. Check out our YouTube channel, Top Cut Pokemon. The website, thetopcut.net. And thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
Also like to give out a shout out to Jimmy O'Brien for helping us out throughout the commentation and actually just being around us. All the suggestions he gives us, so thank you for that.
Yep. Also thanks to Doug Morsley and Ben Stock for helping to judge the Invitational, and Melvin Shaw for taking photographs. So we have nice memories.
And card leaders, right?
And card leaders.
And card leaders for the stream and recording, yep.
All right, I think we got everybody. If not, we apologize, but either way, take it easy, guys. Have a good day.
See ya.
Woo!